So there's a lot of bouncing around with a lot of stuff, yes? And one, you'll like this one probably, because this one will probably excite your knowledge. Yes. So input where possible. And yeah, so let's look at food, right? So we look at natural food versus artificial foods. And let's just have a little go with that. And then we want to say artificial foods is chemical based, this, that, and the other. Sugar gets a bad rap, yes? Certain sugars I think are bad. And I think natural sugars, well, it's natural after all, right? So fruitarians. What else is there? Nuts. They used to eat a lot of nuts back in the day. And again, they used to roast near enough everything. And we say roast, slow fire, slow cook. And they would also eat a lot of stuff raw. And then we've adapted to...
And seeds, and make raw bread from seeds. Yeah.
Leafy matter. This was quite a sweet diet.
Yeah.
This was a very sweet diet. And then we've got to look at it, bananas that are being eaten, they're without seeds, right?
Yeah.
So, again, this fussiness about seeds. Seeds are a gentle fiber. And there are many different ways of fiber, but fiber is not great in one way, and fiber is good in another. Now, why would fiber, let's say artificial fiber, how can we say this? So we could take a sunflower seed that's been roasted, yes?
Yeah.
And you're going to eat this, and it's quite jagged, it's quite rough, yes? You would say that that's a lot of fiber. But a lot of fiber, you see, by design, humans were seasonal.
Yeah.
Yes, there were seasons that, and then there was collecting and gathering per season, per this, per that. Now, then we come away from this seasonal way, and then we're thrown back into it again, and maybe we're overdoing it. Like, adding too much fiber to a lot of different foods is not good. It's abrasive. Think about it. So, fiber scratches the insides, your insides, all the way on transit, right?
Yeah.
And then before we release this as waste, it dehydrates. If you've got a lot of jagged edges in there, are you damaging your bowel? If it continuously keeps scraping grainy food that keeps coming through. You'll notice this with elephants as well. Only at certain times will they go and absorb, let's say, nutrients. Only at certain times will they do this. Now, is this because they understand a natural principle that if they were doing that every day, they would do severe internal damage?
Yeah. Okay.
So, if you have a lot of fibrous food nearly all of the time scraping away, are you going to end up doing damage to your bowels? Is this why we see the rise of bowel cancer? Perhaps it's a byproduct, perhaps it's not. But if this food is continued, because it goes through a process, right, of being over-liquidized in the stomach, yes? Yeah. And then the body begins to draw this liquid out.
Yeah.
And then, undoubtedly, if you eat soup, your body's going to draw a lot of moisture from this, and it's going to dry out as it transitions through your system. Well, think about this if you're eating, let's say, sunflower seeds, quite, with shells, and you keep eating this over a long period of time.
Yeah.
You're going to do a lot of damage. It's going to start scratching when it gets drier, and once now and then, not a bad thing. Repeatedly, not great. What happens if this begins to scrape at your inners? And especially in the area that it's in, is this going to go on to cause waste product to get in parts of the body it's not meant to, because this is constantly being scraped? You've got to understand that. So it's like, when looking at this, I think we got a lot of supermarkets that think they know better, and manufacturers that they're buying from. I think they know so much. Oh, fiber's good, quick throw it in the product. Oh, this is good, quick throw it in the product. Oh, this is great. Oh, look, why is this not working? Because you're overdoing it. You're stepping out of the seasonal process, right? And then you are adding lots of, unnecessarily to certain foods, a lot of this stuff. And this constant grinding over and over and over again. So there was a time before, excuse me because I've been eating something. There was a time before where there was the big English breakfast.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we've stopped eating that.
Yeah.
and we've gone over to this dry fortified stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
With lots of fiber in it, with lots of this in it, with lots of these. By and large, yes, we don't get enough of this stuff, and it would be wise to consume it, but at seasonal. This is why it's so important never to go from your roots. And then we look at sugars, and sugars get a bad rap. No, I think the sugar rap is just equally, yes, okay, fair enough. There is some evidence that sugar beet, and if they're going to try and perfect it and they bleach it, past times, whether it's conspiracy or whatnot, old tea bags were all bleached out and different things like that to make it white. Who gives a shit? Well, no one will drink it if it weren't white. If you'd have just made it normally, they wouldn't have known any different. So I'm confused as to where this logic comes in.
Yeah.
That's a chemical added to that. And then perhaps now tea is starting to do something. Are you sure it isn't the chemical? The agents that you put into it. And then we can look at things like water. I mean, water is more expensive than lemonade. I mean, this is interesting to me.
It is, isn't it?
So if we take a certain brand here, what's this one? This one's a different one, and then we got a different one over here. Yeah. Science hasn't caught up with this stuff in here yet. So all it's supposed to be is just lemon and lime, yes?
Yeah.
Naturally fruity. All right, you are. Preservative. Why is there preservative in water? I don't understand that. So, I mean, this one's Co-op, and they've got preservative inside a water drink. Which to preserve the lemon. That's weird.
Yeah, when it's filled and really sealed, so no air can go
it's
there.
It's in carbon.
Yeah. What's the...
I thought carbon was a preservative. Correct me if I'm wrong, I thought carbon was a preserve. As like a where can it grow in that carbon?
I don't know.
Got any carbon lakes anywhere?
But it's really like sealed off from the air, so what's the point of it?
Acid.
In the bottle.
Citric acid. Flavorings. Lemon and lime. Preservative. Potassium salt sweetener. Why? And there's someone else in here, I can't even say it. Whatever, you know, I need a degree in able to read this stuff in here. We've gone a long way from water, right?
Yeah.
And where they'll say that there's a sweetener in here, what's the science behind the sweetener?
They don't know much about it.
And preservative in water. It says low for sugar, saturates fat. I mean, why you would need to bring fat on water? You can get fat off water, can you? It's low on salt.
Yeah.
I mean, these things are very strange to me. This stuff is strange as to why you need to put a preservative in water. And then try and find any water anywhere without all of this crap in it. Boil it. Even if it's carbonated, boil it and watch all of that shit in there. And there are some waters out there that I can boil the arse out of and I get no residue left in it at all. Why is it that some has it, some don't? And then depending on what brand I'm switching over to, I can pressurize it out of the... Do you think tap water? Ooh, wow, that's really bad, man. That's really... You're paying for that? You pay this in a bill? Forcefully? That is horrible stuff. What is all that shit in there? Well, you need it. Okay. I don't want to drink it. Is there a way that we can remove that? Or get a Brita filter. No, it doesn't work. Put it to the test. Take it out, pressurize it, and really go over boil it. You tell me. Is that really working? Okay, there's a reduction, but there's still this powder appear in it. I'm drinking that every day, and then what? It's in the toilets, it's in the river. Drains are not really all that watertight. Let's be realistic. None of these sewers are really all that great. Yeah. It's leaching into the land.
Yeah.
It's evaporating. Well, it's mixing in with the rain. You're still evaporating it. You can still get chemicals to sweat. this is interesting. And then this is raining in the lands. It's hitting the trees. Look at the leaves on the trees. Some of them have gone white. Watering outside or anything else? Wow, that's really strange. And even rain is beginning to have this really thick, grubby chemical in it as well. That is not a pure planet. That's a dirty planet. When your windows begin to get watermarks on it, and if you've not noticed, the more and more watermarks that you are beginning to see on windows after it rains, you know, it sounds stupid. If humans did their bit, that would disappear. It's coating a lot of things. It's very interesting to me. That is, you know, you want to make some crystals in the body. Oh, I got a product I can sell you after that. That's not great. So sugar. Is it really all that bad? Think about it. Sugar as opposed to chems.
No, it's not that
Wait,
bad.
is that E?
Yeah. Some people might be eating a lot of sugar and then it's bad, but then everything is bad if you eat a lot of it, isn't it?
E numbers. Even in damn chicken, man. Even in damn chicken. Watching in this factory, these needles coming down into chicken legs and chicken breast, and they're injecting this pink stuff into it. This particular factory is no longer here, but the rest are still there. It's the same residue that leaks out, which everyone mistakes for blood. It isn't. That's been injected into it. First hand, seen this.
So
I
that
was
will be.
watching it. The
Yeah.
part of the it was all hidden,
Huh?
and this bit fell off of the. I don't know. They were all on this conveyor belt going through this silver box, right? But the silver box was making and had loads of other stuff going to it. You couldn't see what was in it, but the metal panel fell off, and most of this food, meat, was coming out onto the. It was laid down nicely, and it was in a row of 4, and there was these freaking needles, man, that were lowering and hiring into it, and they had this solution, this pink solution in it, which some say that it was sugar, some say that it was this, some say that it was that. It's just to sweeten it. And when I was looking at this, because the panel was in, it fell off. Someone didn't put it on there properly, and I was studying this, and then a worker from McCain, I think it was McCain, they were making some of these wings or something on the other side, come in and was just like, oh yeah, they're sending me off to somewhere else. Or like I wasn't supposed to see that. Probably for good reason. That is the type of food manufacturers, and some of this was going out to here, some of it wasn't just McCain, this was for chicken trays or whatever. They would then go for a fryer line and then be heated on a spiral and then cooled down really fast after it cooked. And then it goes into frozen packing and different things like that, right? This machine was fucking weird. Like, this one was the one that was just...
It might be preservatives or something as well in it.
Problem is with that, that's weird. That's weird. That is strange. So, if you want to think of it in another way, in certain butchers, I never noticed this stuff. It wasn't in, and the meat tastes different. So, certain butchers, this was killed from off the land. There was a lamb killed and taken. And then when I was in Greece, there was straight killed and it was being cooked straight after the kill. And, that blew my mind. I never eaten anything like that before. Okay, I was quite young at the time, so, what was this? Oh, so are there any E numbers in there? Is there any sugar going into that?
Yeah.
But the problem is the sugar, if we highlight sugar and keep saying sugar, it allows these to continue. And sometimes they don't even label it as an E number anymore. They call it by its chemical name. And then they say that, we are all about, the people here at the co-op. We're all about the people. Well, if you are about the people, why are you putting preservatives in it? That doesn't make any sense.
Does the other water have it?
No, I don't think it does. No.
It's a liter of similar drink, isn't it? It's
Yes,
supposed
exactly
to be
the same
lemonade.
way.
Yeah. No.
No. In fact, just based on the reading, between the two, yes?
Uh-huh.
This one, all apart from the sweetener. And this is a little product.
Yeah.
But it's interesting when you go to boil it, you get to extract powders out of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can sort the powders.
Mm-hmm.
And then I imagine each one of these is a different chemical. So no, just sweetener in this one.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. So if I had to say for myself which brand is better, it would be the Lidl brand.
Mm-hmm.
And this one's Co-op. This one's more expensive. Well, it would be. It's got more stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
So the Lidl brand. You know, we've got vegan on the products, but where can you get in touch with any product manufacturer? And because they'll play the game of, well, everybody else is okay with it. What, we're going to stop putting this in for one person? But yet then all of these people must have voted in your supermarket to say that they wanted all of this stuff in there.
No one ever have they?
What are we preserving here? The drink or the body after you're passed on?
Mm-hmm. And
then what are these preservatives doing for your body? Because the way I see it, nature isn't exactly preserving itself now, is it?
Yeah.
It didn't get hung up on making itself preserve as long as possible, did it?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's supposed to be just water. Come on, everyone, drink water. Come on, drink more water. Come on, keep drinking. Why? And then this has got less ingredients in it than standardized water, which is given this weird, oh, these are all minerals. These are all, you need this stuff. Right? I need it.
No.
That's why it's naturally found in rivers everywhere, right? Which, again, there's a fine line between what's natural and now what's raining everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You're now beginning to find this stuff everywhere. Well, it's for bone development, it's for this, it's for that, it's for this. Well, put it in a tablet somewhere and see if people will buy it. And then let's watch the people that don't absorb this stuff, do they get the same weirdnesses?
Mm-hmm.
Do they get the same diseases? Because that's what we're seeing a rise of. More and more disease. It's because we're living longer.
No.
So why is it not like it in tribes then?
Yeah.
Why do they reach their elders? And
Yeah.
elders used to pass down tales.
Yeah.
Find me an elder now.
Yeah. And why in civilizations, our civilizations, some really old people live into their late 90s and are bright and everything and are physically okay for their age, and some others either are not physically okay or are not mentally okay.
Yeah, and we're seeing a rise in this.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
a rising...
especially in mental problem, yeah, for the
Especially in
older
the mind.
people, yeah, brain and yeah.
And then it looks like,
Arteries.
is it because we no longer can seek wisdom? Because we've now, what? You know, it's almost like that someone is deliberately doing this because wisdom
Mm-hmm.
used to be taken from elders.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, now, what's the idea and the understanding, okay? There's a big
Mm-hmm.
stigma, again, which they try and lash in with, you can't discriminate against
Yeah.
someone with their old age. And they say, what is it? What if you say, oh yeah, I was listening to my grandfather.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's that look? That
Mm-hmm.
look is he alright?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you sure he's speaking wisdom?
Mm-hmm. Or does he have dementia or something?
Yeah, you know, is he going a bit senile?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No.
No, he's not. So when we begin to understand that, then there's a stigma already.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now when we go to tribes and they're seeking wisdom from their elders, it's absolutely jam-packed with wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the one thing we're seeing less and less of? Wisdom. Think about it.
Yeah.
Well, you're not going to go to your elders in your family because they've got stigma.
Yeah.
Who else are you going to go to instead then?
Yeah. To someone who claims they have the education, or offer the education, and they know it the best. Yeah.
And then why is this in more cheaper food?
Yeah. To make more people eat it.
And then if there is one side that knows not to eat this type of food and one side that knows that they can eat this food, the only difference is money,
Yeah.
which we will dub as price.
Yeah.
Who's going to hold on to their wisdom?
More rich people.
More rich? Why? Because they're not eating.
But some of them still will eat stuff with that because they want to save money as well. So
Why would they want to save money when they've already got money and money is no issue? If they want more, they'll take more. They'll charge more. They will. And then we see a mental decline in one, and we see not so much a mental decline in the other.
yeah.
And that's because people want this, apparently.
Yeah, that's what I heard in Canada about some product that had much more sugar than American one, and that was because people wanted it. But I never heard about people being asked that.
So assumption.
Yeah, that was some McDonald's product that was much more sweeter, and people liked it because they lived, some of them, close to the border and went to the other side, and the taste was different, and they were like, what is going on?
So where's the freedom to what I want to put in my body then? Well, you're free to put anything you want in your body. Okay, what about if you're on a budget? What about if you're working ends meet?
Yeah.
Can you afford to do it?
No. Or you have to look really a lot to find completely basic products that might not have that much of it, like the ones that you have to cook.
So where is this mental decline coming from? What happens if someone relentlessly takes drugs all the time? After all, numbers are drugs because they affect your mind, right? We've noticed this. When we look at children that have certain numbers and certain stuff, their behavior differentiates. It is really obvious. And then this group of children will react this way. And then there's another type of numbers that affect these children, but not those ones that are being affected by these. Now, constant consumption of these ingredients, what would that do? What if someone completely took cocaine all the time?
It damages the same area over and over. So in long term, there is some damage to a certain area that functions overall with the rest. So that must decline somewhere else.
Why are drugs illegal?
Because of that, because they do the damage.
Because they alter your mind.
Yeah.
Judgment.
Yeah.
These children reacting off of these certain numbers here, and it's like, oh, just don't give them numbers. Well, and preservatives, and
they are everywhere.
It's now in water. It's now in beans. It's now
look in
hoops,
some breads and
And then I'll say, well, then let's just go over to healthy foods then. Well, what happens if this plant here is growing in number water?
Yeah.
Preservative in water.
Yeah. That will drink it, won't it?
So, if lettuce is made from a large amount of nutrition, and we know this because we can study this by looking at animals. Mice, rodents, if they eat this type of food, healthy foods, they don't need to drink. Did you know that? Because they get their
water from there.
Now, is the plant like a human, or is it supposed to be different somehow, that it knows how to filter it out?
It's not natural, so it doesn't know how to filter it out, does it?
So the plant will still absorb that?
Yeah.
Just like a human will still absorb that?
Yeah. It doesn't expect strange stuff to be in the water.
And then, let's talk about pesticides, because when we...
Yeah,
the reverse is, if I were to put a bag over these leaves, it would begin to condensate in the bag and it would begin to collect as moisture. Also, when it rains, the plant can work both ways. That's not one way. That's not constantly sweat one way. the old myth in houses is if you've got plants, you must have a damp house. And your plants are making the damp. That's not true. It will also remove it from the windows. If they can't get enough from the soil, they'll get it from the air. You used to be in a wetland, didn't you?
Yeah. So if they are sprayed with something, something will stay on them.
So we look at this with cactus. Cactus, they don't drink water. Yes, they do. They drink dew. Same way spiders do. Spiders drink dew. Cactus will drink dew. So in the mornings, it's quite condensated and it formulates like on a can of drink when you open it. This will be absorbed into the cactus. This is nature at the end of the day, just a different branch of it. It works both ways. It knows how to do this. This is why it can get into many different places quite abundantly. Even into water, even into the ocean, on the ocean, within the ocean. It's interesting the way this is. But this is all drinking this chemical too. And what, we're going to say, well, nature doesn't drink the chemical. Come on. That's like saying that humans can drink these chemicals and nothing, they won't absorb it. Look, let me take cow's milk, for example. A certain population can't drink it. Well, yeah, they can. They can. Are they absorbing that? Perhaps not in the same way. So we'll look at that and we'll think about it. We'll think. That was us once. But we kept going against the incompatibility, and a bit like rats can eat poison. And some of them not dying. That's weird, the way that they become. So you have to keep changing the chemicals, right? You've got to keep upping the chemicals, much like you do with rats. You have to keep on switching it up a bit. Sometimes strong, weak, strong, weak, strong. And then what? Are we supposed to seek wisdom from these people? Because it's pretty obvious what you're doing. This is pretty damn obvious. Because there's no democracy in it. There's no democracy in shops anywhere. And, you know, their promise, Co-op's promise, is we listen to the people, powered by the people. If that was true,
you wouldn't put that stuff in there, would you?
How many people are we talking here?
Yeah. Rich people. Yeah.
And what, my little old voice in your supermarket is going to make a shit bit of difference?
No, that's why it's supermarket.
So are we going to do this on silent obedience? But because everyone's buying it, that must be cool, you know? It's you that's wrong.
It was like that when there were small shops, small corner shops with small owners that would see, oh, people do not buy this or do not want this, I will not order it again. So that worked at that level. You didn't have to have any, like, ask a lot of people. You just saw that they wouldn't buy some products.
So Germany is a shop that is here.
Yeah.
Okay. So our whole thing of leaving the EU, do you know what drove this mainly?
The feeling that EU decides for UK?
Ask people now.
Yeah.
Now.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's the greatest lesson. You have to teach this way. Ask people now. Are you happy with the prices in all your supermarkets? And I'll say, no.
No.
Are you eating lettuce and all of this stuff because you want to or because you're forcing yourself to? Well, how do you mean? Well, meat's got too expensive, so you have to go over elsewhere. And then the money dries up.
Yeah.
If this money's drying up elsewhere, so someone was cashing in off of this.
Yeah.
And now that money's starting to disappear, so we might need to extend here or extend there. Now, if we ask the EU, and we ask America, and we ask Australia, and we were to ask China, Russia, Australia, I think I said it, Ireland, where else? When I say EU, this is all independent nations. Can you bring your supermarkets here? What's the one thing that will happen?
The quality of products will be different, won't it? And the prices will go down.
Why can you get a leg of lamb from Australia for £5, but a leg of lamb nearly costs £32?
Yeah. In here, yeah. Greedy. £32. What are they doing with the lamb?
So, you know, this whole thing with British produce was meant to be a good thing that kick-started something off that was a new... But they found a way a bit like to fuck about with our trade.
Yeah. It's a cartel, isn't it? They agreed on that they won't go under certain prices, and
So, if we had other supermarkets here, what do you think will happen to these supermarkets here?
they would have to lower their price.
They would have to lower their prices, and therefore there's competition.
Mhm.
So, I know we've got an EU shopper, Happy Shopper. It's so fucking expensive, but that isn't directly related to the produce. It's been bought out by corporations. No doubt, like Coca-Cola owns many different drinks inside that drinks machine.
Yeah.
The competition stops others from coming, and then when they begin to dominate, the prices go up. Before you know it, drinks are so bloody expensive, but that's because it's bad for you. It's full of sugar. It's full of it. Then we've got water that is made here on British soil, and it's full of absolute shit.
Yeah.
What about a drink that contains none of that shit? I don't want any of your calcium added to it. I don't want any of this. I want to take it out of that drink.
Yeah.
I don't want it. I just want pure water. Because I don't want to fill up with kidney stones, gallstones, bladder stones. I don't want lime scale inside my body. I don't want crystals to develop inside me.
Yeah.
What do you think a collection of different crystals over in this part of the body is all about? What do you think it does to your kidneys, your bladder?
Damage, and you need to go to the doctor.
And you mean to tell me that drinking this stuff is not corrosive, corroding my internal organs?
Of course it is, and some of the artificial sweeteners are even allergens now.
I don't want it. I want water that's extracted from salt water, and I want it to be so filtered that we remove all of that shit. Or it's calcium. You need calcium. No. If I need it, I'll get it. I don't want fluoride. I don't want chloride. I want filtered water.
Just
100% filtered.
H2O.
H2O,
Yeah.
nothing else.
Yeah.
I don't want any chemicals in it. I don't want preservatives. I don't want all of this shit in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? Well, I will drink that stuff once a month in variety. Because when you drink things that is little and often, it's supposed to be more beneficial to you than all the frickin' time, constantly bombarding my organs with this shit.
Yeah.
It's in my blood. It's what is it? It's like sand. It's like brick dust.
Yeah.
It's like sandpaper. It's abrasive.
Yeah. Yeah.
My organs and your organs were not designed to take that.
Exactly. Yeah.
We were born with brains. What happens if you take paracetamol all day, every day?
Not good. It doesn't work, does
What
it?
happens if you take morphine all day, every day?
No, you get used to it.
Okay, what happens if you take any drug all day, every day?
No effect after a while. Or detrimental effect and kill you.
So, why would it be any different with anything else? And then fiber. Fiber? What, continuous fiber? No, I
No.
want fleshy stuff.
Yeah, fiber comes from bananas, from apples, from stuff like that.
Which is soft.
Yeah. Or from bread, maybe, if you don't overprocess the flour.
If it's too grainy, I don't want it.
Yeah. If
I
it's
don't
too
want it.
grainy,
It's going to damage my teeth. It's going to damage my bones.
Yeah.
It's going to damage my fleshy organs.
You need some, but there is limit
We go
to
from
grain as well.
one area of being the best thinkers ever as a human species, right?
Yeah.
To the most silly.
Yeah. Yeah, we do, don't we?
And this is blind obedience. This is blind faith.
Yeah.
With the eye to see. We're just gonna
Yeah.
go away.
Let's.
It's still going yet?
Yeah, still going.
Still going. Being given the eye to see
Mm-hmm.
and the ears to hear,
Yeah.
what do you think that actually means? You honestly think it's got something to do with something over here, or to be able to sense over there, or be able to sense over... No, it's beginning to see through this stuff. Are you kidding me? You think I want all of that? Do you really want that in your organs?
No. Just some to.
we had an organ machine
Yeah.
with different organs in it, and we keep blasting it through, and we could speed this up. So let's say we made an artificial kidney that was subject to this, but on a faster,
Yeah. Yeah.
rapid.
Yeah.
Do you think that kidney will hold up?
No, it will start to get, how would you say it, get stuff in it, wouldn't it?
Take a look in a
The
hot
chemicals.
water bottle.
Yeah.
Take a look in there.
Yeah.
You have a good look at that.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to be something different, are you? Oh, it's because the body's always constantly fighting, working. What do you think that constant working is going to do? Deplete energy. Then
Yeah.
what is going to take over? It's terrible. This is a weird thing. This whole process here, injecting fucking meat, growing all of this. Yum. One of your 5 a day, right? Yeah, sure. All right. Yeah. Roots.
It's in that
It's in the
water, but it doesn't feed you that much. It's just leafage, is it?
Have a tomato. Have this. And how can I trust what that's being fed?
Yeah. Well,
You are not what you eat. You
You-
are also what your food eats. Your food absorbs. And then we've got in the environment now to the point where the environment. Look at the signs. Look at your forests. Look at the woods. Look at it. Take a look around. Have a good look at it. It's now getting into the environment, and now it's getting into the rivers. Now it's getting into the ocean. There's so much of this happening. And look at the life. Is life flourishing with all of this goodness that you all need? Tell me, if this is causing flourish, then why is there such a decline in everything? We don't know what shit. Why is it all dying? Well, let's wake up to the fact. This. And then what happens if you start removing all of this crap from the water? I tell you what, I feel good. It is actually, I'm going to say it. It's a brand, Coca-Cola. Make that water smart water.
Uh-huh.
I have tried every type of test on that product, and I cannot get it to produce a crystal anywhere.
That's good, isn't it?
Now, make a cup of tea with it, and you tell me the difference. It's expensive. Drink it. Drink it for over a week and see the difference. Oh, it's because electrolytes. Now, that shit's pretty pure. Now, I wonder if it can go a step further and remove even more from that. And then, if I have one of these, you see there's a difference. When you drink that, you feel it.
Yeah.
When you drink the other one and stop drinking that
Yeah.
one, you feel it.
You feel better. Yeah.
Now, if these same companies are the ones in process of our foods, what else is going in there? And then, what does that look like on your internal? You see, this is where science needs to start catching up with, because we need to be super aware of this. What is that chemical doing? What is it damaging? When you take chemicals over a longer period of time, they begin to damage you. And it doesn't just damage you, it damages everybody. I think this is beginning to catch up on both sides of the, is this why we're so afraid of rain, is it?
Yeah.
Now we've got a lot of this chalk all over the windows and stuff, and mad. I suppose it's good for window cleaning companies, but I don't ever recall this.
Yeah, having windows like that, it dried and it was gone, wasn't
So
it?
much limescale and rainwater now.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they were clean and new ones, so
And then the damage it does to panes of glass, for goodness sake. You know, it's almost like they're taking that water from that place where you can put those dolls in that lake, and it then turns into a statue from the limescale.
Yeah. I know that.
It's a good example of what's going on
Yeah.
inside your body, and then we see an increase in kidney stones and gallstones, bladder stones.
Yeah. And that's good for pharmaceutical companies, isn't it?
I got a product I can sell you for that.
Yeah, they will sell you something that works a little bit, but not too much, so you need it for a long period of time, or maybe just need it to take it forever.
So yeah, if we had external shocks come here, again, it's also risky. They'll say, Because this company over here, which you've got to understand, why would they do that? They might start putting poisons in that food over there. It's a possibility. It is a possibility. But having science that can dip it at any time and check it, and then we'll find out whether it is sugar that is doing it or it's E numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were to put a tax on E numbers, that's a lot of money. Preservatives, artificial and chemicals. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Now, why did these serve a purpose? I mean, wasn't Germany doing this back in the day?
I don't know.
Let me give you an example. I'm going to take you back to an issue.
Yeah.
Your great-grandfather was doing some work in one of Germany, yes? And was given some food.
My grandfather.
And then
Yeah.
he had really bad indigestion problems
Yeah, for
after
the-
eating the experimental food.
Yeah, for the rest of his life, he took the soda after he ate. Otherwise, he had bad indigestion.
That's past Germany. That was in occupied.
Yeah, it was in 40s. He was there somewhere. Yeah. And then he died of vascular dementia, so that damaged his
Same did my
veins.
grandfather.
Yeah, his veins and arteries got hardened, so then the blood flow doesn't go easily to all the areas in brain and makes you confused or not working properly. So yeah.
And based on his testimony, that he was quite sensitive. It was after he ate a certain amount of food, and he is aware of that
Yeah.
and passed it down to you. That's wisdom. That's wisdom there.
Yeah.
You see, if you ever wanted to eradicate, when your nation is weak, what can't they do? They can't fight.
Yeah.
They're going to be much good on a battlefield, are they?
No,
No.
no.
And this was a sly war that I don't think anyone really paid much attention to.
Yeah.
This was it. This was it. Underneath Nazi Germany.
Yeah, yeah.
This is what they were doing, trying to weaken.
Men in productive age had to go and work somewhere for Germany, somewhere.
But we'll give you food. Come on,
yeah,
it's
and
slop.
they gave them terrible food, and most of the people
They
were
were
just
experimenting.
somewhere. Yeah, yeah.
They were experimenting with different.
I wouldn't be
ingredients.
surprised, because with some people they were over experimenting and killed them in camps, but they also had working camps.
This is what was being. These were tests.
Yeah.
They were so covert, and I don't know whether we've adapted some of this. Now, whether that's accidental or deliberate, there seems to be some level of this is still happening. Why do you become the very thing that you swear you want to eradicate?
Yeah, they were.
When you've got all of these different issues going on, indigestion, whatnot, then you've got other ones over here with Alzheimer's. You ain't much good as a soldier. If it ever comes to a battle, you see, this is another way of the art of war. It's horrible. It's horrible, just in case you ever begin to rise up or begin to... No, it's to suppress you.
Yeah, Germans wanted the other nations to work for them as a workforce, and they wanted to regulate how many people there were from the other nations, just enough to kind of not completely eradicate them. They wanted to eradicate some others,
Yeah.
and anyone who was opposing them from any nation, even their own. That was that. And then all the disabled people, or people who were not able.
Yeah.
You know.
So, Jewish communities were targeted most in this,
Yeah.
but their food process, kosher.
Yeah.
The Jewish community were probably refusing the most to eat the food.
Yeah.
And then you leave them on starvation, it would seem, and then put this in this hunger
They had
situation
to be-
so that they would forego that.
They
Oh,
had to
it's horrible.
they had to be targeted for that, because maybe they would raise awareness to others that we do our kosher, but it has
Kosher,
other
kosher,
purpose. Yeah,
kosher,
other
eyeball.
purpose than just be kosher, but check the whatever comes into the.
These would have been individuals, and I don't mean it in any disrespect whatsoever, and man, don't underestimate this stuff, but it's almost, they were targeted more perhaps because of this.
Yeah, looks like
Would
they
have
had
been the
knowledge
hardest
and
to-
wisdom. Yeah.
Yeah.
They had knowledge and wisdom. They obviously, Christians and Jews had some disagreements when it comes to religion and stuff like that, but they coexisted.
And now, has this been taken and distributed? Rocket technology was?
Yeah. Yeah. They
And
lost
this is
them.
to stop rebellion, uprising. Think about it. It's to try and curb this.
Yeah.
So, what do you need to do? Rely on water supply.
Mm-hmm.
Rely on food supply.
Yeah.
You no longer, you see, the art of war, it just doesn't stop.
Yeah.
If you give up this food production yourself and you give up this water collecting yourself and then you rely on someone else, then you're subject to this. And then they stand on it that they're not going to do anything about it because it's just water, just drink it.
Yeah. In my county, many people have wells, but that's people who are in the countryside. And now, what is happening? What do you think?
They're going in and
Farmers,
Farmers are
yes.
putting in
So,
chemicals
so
and
they
then
don't have to
leaches in.
spike them. They just
Indirectly, accidentally
Yeah.
spike them.
So then it's not good for drinking anymore. Maybe for washing, but just maybe in some places. So they use it for washing,
It
but
makes
they
you
cannot
wonder, did
drink
we
it.
even win any war?
Yeah, it makes you
Or
wonder.
did it look like we won, but we actually lost behind the scenes? That's the question you got to ask yourself. Because this whole accidental water contaminate. Whoops! Oh no, my chemicals. Oh shit! But we got to feed people, right? We got to kill the bees, you know, because if we don't control these fucking bees, right, you're going to be going back into the woods.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they'll pollinate all of those out there and we know how to genetically modify all this shit, so you'll have to then eat this stuff from us. That's where you never want it to go. And again, is it? You know, it could just be conspiracy theory, but I don't know. When you begin to look really deeply into this, there are too many accidents, right?
Yeah.
Oh dear, it's just coincidence that you've got a broken window. Oh, it's just coincidence that you had a well here. Whilst we're putting all these needless chemicals on there.
Yeah, we put them around in the field somewhere, and then oh my god, it leached there, and you no longer can drink it.
Whoops. So why is it so toxic that you can't drink it, but yet it's okay to eat it? Oh, it's because we wash it. How do you wash inside the plant?
Yeah, you don't. But we were always told, like, you have to wash, or if your fruit and vegetables you buy from a shop, you have to wash that. But
How do you wash it in the inside?
you can't, can you?
That chemical has landed down near the ground when it rains. That's got into the roots and...
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like it's a good cover story that it's just to stop the bees. Why would you care about bees? Why would you care about insects? Well, because they're going to eat it all if we don't.
Yeah.
With all of that ingenuity, it's a bit strange, really, isn't it? But rather than building and expanding into the ground, no, we're going to argue about this 1% crust. Yeah, we could build it underground, and then what comes of that? Well, then there's no bugs get it. And they can have the ones at the top there.
Yeah.
And we also get the best of both worlds because we don't need to have bloody poison food.
Yeah.
When we start to see all of these diseases that are coming about that we've never seen before, you got to question it.
Yeah.
In so many people, but not certain people.
Yeah.
preservatives in water and this and that and a little bit of this over there and this over there.
Now it's all in drinking water. I read in Czech Republic or Czechoslovakia, the tap water was originally drinking water. It was built later than here, and it was meant for that. And then I read that warnings that in some areas more and more chemicals get into water and people should be cautious. But before that, it was always said that be careful when you buy bottled water because your tap water might be better quality. That was what was said originally, years ago. And it was true. Where I grew up, there is water is now polluted. It was back then, it had probably minimum of any chemicals in it.
So how can you strategically, forgive me, pollute wells with chemicals on farmland, but not pollute drinking water?
I don't think you can do that.
So my assumption is, if it's bad in a well,
Yeah.
what is protecting this?
Yeah.
God?
No.
How are you, right, do you get what I mean? How can you spike a well, but it doesn't make its way into the water supply that you're drinking from your tap?
When I was a kid, I drank from one well. The water was so tasty. As a kids, we would put there some squash because we wanted something sweet, but it was cold and so nice and tasty. And then something happened in the area, and after that, it was not drinkable. It was good for maybe watering, but it was not advised to be drunk.
Yeah, not drinkable for how long? Forever?
I don't think that anyone drinks that water anymore.
So something triggered that to become so toxic
Yes,
that
some
even
people.
this many years later, you can't drink it.
Some people dug more wells around the area. Some people dug deeper ones, so the water dropped as well. That was one effect. Then there were slugs, and it was green around, and it was not the same water anymore. So I don't know. And now there are some industrial places where there were just fields and one colony of slightly bigger plots for gardening with some sheds and little houses, wooden houses. So,
And not one single protest throughout your towns. Not one single protest is anywhere to bring this into a place where we can see it, which would be a type of government. Where is the leadership in that?
yeah.
Where is that protecting the people from this type of a situation? Where is it? Where is the people power in this?
Yeah, I think people might protest in some places, but you never hear about it, so you don't know that.
So people haggle over 40 pence tax rise or 20 pence tax rise, but not one single voice is beginning to be in protest against this at all. Not one.
I don't think there is none, but it doesn't get spread among people and it doesn't get public. People don't know it. Maybe there is now and
Yeah,
then.
but if we creep it in, if we creep a tax in, really slowly but surely, just keep creeping it in, no one will bat an eyelid. What about if the tax hits you when you're like older? Would that be okay then? No, it fucking won't, would it? No one would ever agree with that, but yet this is okay to go on. Bit by bit, eroding. Look, come on, you don't know what you're talking about, come on. This person's just asking for a garden and wants to be let out. It's because they've got this, come on, look, we know. It feels, I want to say it feels like, it feels very Nazi. They were doing this shit. There's no ifs or buts about it. They were doing this. Hence why they target the way they did. But has it stopped? What's the question? No, it hasn't. This is weird, man. This is just the strangest thing ever. But there you are. Until you wake up to it, I think then you can then begin to piece this together. All I can do is just sort of waft it towards you, but I don't know. Think about that. Do you really need to be injecting your meat?
No.
Well, we need to give it this because no one will eat it. Are we talking about starvation here? You know, the very thing that makes you so uncomfortable that you would go out and hunt. You would begin eating. Are we talking about the same thing here? When people are met with hunger,
Yeah.
That's how you've managed to put this shit in the food in the first place.
Yeah. Then when starvation was about, then things changed, and then they stay like that, and they improve their formulas of how to make meat more heavier and how to put their certain chemicals and stuff like that.
Do you think the hunter-gatherers were eating because of taste?
No. But I think
This
that
tastes a bit rare.
But I think that natural things probably tasted good anyway.
Yeah, I'm
They
sure
didn't have
things
to-
tasted different, but I think the main... These don't taste too great, I know, but it'll keep you alive.
Yeah, they would probably leave those for last if they had some other source and note that, oh, I remember these, they are not very tasty, but they will fill me, and leave them longer growing on because I will come back if I cannot get anything else. I think they were thinking like that.
And now they're doing things because no one will eat it. Wait, what? No one will eat it if you didn't put this in there. Yeah, there's not enough sugar in here. I'm going to shovel it on like a fucking steam train needs coal. What, with sugar? Yeah, fucking, they won't eat it. They just will not eat it. Not even starvation will make them eat it. Okay, so if I went to a place where there is very limited food, and I mean very limited food, and I took all the stuff that we say is horrible here with me, you won't mind then if we take it and give it to these people then? Is that okay? And do you think that they're going to worry about what it fucking tastes like?
No, if they are hungry, they will eat it.
Oh my god, I'm starving! Right. I don't like the taste of that one. I don't like the taste of this one. I really don't like the taste of this one either. Oh, I like this one. Hang on, I thought you said you were starving. Do you even know what it's like to starve? Trust me, your teeth take it first. Fucking not enough nutrients to keep them bad boys going. Yes, I am. Yeah, starving. It's not sweet enough. Yeah, that's why the ancestors all disappeared. Nothing was sweet enough. That's why you're not here now from them. It wasn't sweet enough, you know? There just wasn't enough sugar.
Well, they didn't have any sugar at certain point, did they?
No, but I'm sure they would have eaten beets. Well,
Yeah.
I think these are genetic, though. But
Beets
I believe there would have been other
fruit
sweeter substances,
and
sweet
berries.
Sweet root,
Yeah. They would have different stuff that would be sweet.
You can see why they were roasting everything, right?
Yeah.
Just trying to extract that sweetness from it.
Yeah, and that make it tastier. Yeah. They didn't need sugar as a sugar. And you don't need it either. If you can make sort of spongy cakes or other stuff salty, it doesn't have to be sweet also.
That aeroplane crash, was it in Canada?
Canada? Which one?
There was a plane go down. And they were stranded on a mountain.
Yeah, that was somewhere in Canada, in wilderness.
They must have been really sweet humans.
Yeah, it was.
Because they weren't cannibalistic?
Yeah,
I mean, what do you think drove them to eat that?
hunger.
Hunger.
Yeah.
Have these food companies ever gone out and studied that and looked at that and thought, wow, what the hell made that tick?
Mm.
It's called survival.
Yeah. And they really felt very bad
Yeah, they
before
did.
and it took them long time to decide.
Yeah.
And, yeah. I think it was Rocky Mountains somewhere really
Yeah.
in area where they couldn't get anywhere.
So they're putting all of this shit in food because people won't eat it.
Because people asked for it. They want all the sweetness and everything.
No.
Well, I like carbonated water. I don't need it necessarily sweet at all or flavored.
Yeah, I like it when they're not playing around with it.
Yeah.
And then one minute, one's really cloudy.
Yeah.
A few days, I've got a certain brand and I'm using it, and it's fine. And I'll test it, and I'll test it, and I'll test it, and then the next time I go to buy it and bring it back, the whole thing is now completely cloudy.
Yeah.
The same test I do with one that I kept from before, and now another one that I've just bought. The only difference has been time, and I was followed around a shop as well, you know, with pointing him out. And now I'm buying this one, and it's full of this. And then I'm like, yeah, fuck that next time. I'm buying this one again. And I go and buy another brand, and then, oh, it's good for a little while. And then I have to keep testing it, and then all of a sudden, it's looking like this.
Where the other one was. Yeah.
It's looking a bit like my tap water. It's funny how that follows you.
Yeah.
I wondered why you needed CCTV. It was to stop people from stealing stuff. No, I don't think so. No, I don't believe that. Like everyone's inherently stealing. Even back in the day when they never had this, it was like one loaf of bread now and then. It wasn't quite common, was it?
No.
And it's the same statistic as what happens today, right? With the minus of riots. Anyway, we'll leave this one here because I am busting. I gotta go.
Okay.